So here we've got a probability experiment, and this is a classical probability experiment because we consist of tossing a coin, which is equally likely. You can either get a heads or a tails. Spinning the spinner below, which each of these had the same chance, 1 through 5 had the same chance of getting selected. And then rolling a six-sided die. Six-sided die, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Okay? Now what I want to do is I want to find the probability of tossing a tails, spinning an odd number, and rolling a 3. So in order to find this, we need to define it. So tossing a tail, I'll put as a T for tails. Okay. And then spinning an odd number, I'm going to say O for odd. All right. And then rolling a 3. Actually, you know what? I'll just put odd for odd number. And then rolling a 3, I'll just say the number 3. Okay? So what's the probability of getting a tails, getting a odd, and then rolling a 3? How do we do this? All right? So first off, since it's classical, we need to figure out how many ways we can get a tails, an odd, and a 3. So how many ways can you get a tails? Well, I can only think of one way to get a tails, and that's with a tails, okay? How many ways can I spin an odd number? Well, there's 1, there's 5, and there's 3. So that's a 1 is one option, right? That's one of the options. And then a 3, there's only one way to get a 3, okay? Another way to do it is to get a tails and to get a 3 and then to get a 3 for that last thing. And the last way to do it is to get a tails and get a 5 and then roll a 3 on your die, okay? So those are all 3 ways. So there's only 3 ways that we can do this. Well, how many total ways? How many total ways? Well, we need, when I hear a problem like how many, I should think the counting principle. And so I go back to my counting principle. What's the rule say? It says, determine the number of steps. Well, how many steps are there? We toss a coin, we do the spinner, and we roll the die. So there's 1, 2, 3 things going on. Coin, spinner, and the die. How many ways can I flip a coin? There's 2 ways to flip a coin, either heads or tails. How many ways to do the spinner? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ways to do the spinner. How many ways to roll a die? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ways to roll a die. How many ways total? I multiply 2 times 5 times 6, which is, I guess, 60. So how many total ways? There's 60 total ways. So 3 out of 60 is 1 out of 20, which comes into 0.05. So there's a 5% chance that I do tossing a tails, spinning an odd number, right? There's only 3 ways to spin the odd number here, and then rolling a 3. Okay, so the tails is fixed and the 3 is fixed. It was the spinning the odd number that gave us the 3 different possibilities for doing that. Okay, that's where that 3 came from right there. All right, so one thing that I do want to note here, probability of 0.5 or less is considered unusual. Okay, it's considered unusual to get a probability that's 0.05 or less.